folks, welcome back to Maypole Farm. So the first thing we need to check is apparently the animal dealer pulled the old switcheroo on us with one of the heifers and delivered the older one rather than the one of the younger ones that I was interested in. So no, I think we're okay, unless it's in this one. Yeah, so they did. Sneaky blighters. Oh well, hopefully, well, I guess we'll have to maybe look at replacing that one once we've got a calf out of her and some milk. Very cheeky of them. Very cheeky of them. Or someone clicked the wrong button, but I'm going to go with the dealer pulled the old switcheroo on us. So the next thing we're going to do is drop the mower off of here and the pallet forks. Meant to do that. Interesting. So we need to do the baling. I am brutally fed up with driving the Fendt. The gearbox in it is freaking awful. If I'm going to be honest with you, and why wouldn't I be honest with you? Please hook up. Please connect. Oh, you're kidding me. I need to change some options in here. There was an attacher option, wasn't there? Attacher type. Standard or Schwalmailer. It's going to cost us $4,000, but we're going to spend $4,000 on that. Yes. Oh, I'm brilliant. Love it. Love the right. Love that brilliant. At least that worked. Where was I? Fed up of driving the Fendt at the moment, so let's do that. And we're going to drop this off for now. We will need it shortly. Yeah, fed up of driving the Fendt at the moment. But let's have a quick look in this. What's it worth? 3/5 of bugger all, I imagine. $60,000. Okay. And we are seriously in the market for replacing it at this point. It's got 170 horsepower. Interesting. But I'm front 3.0, obviously, because it's telehandler. Well, that's a Farmall. Yeah. Its days are numbered. Let's just say that. But all this rabbiting, this baler needs a bit more power than the MB Track's got. We need to open up our entrance to the field, which needs an chainsaw, which we don't own. So we're going to purchase ourselves a chainsaw. We're just burning through the cash today on random stuff. And then we need, there's a fence post. So there was a fence post, wasn't there? Go. Chop you down. There we go. Lovely job. Surely I can pick you up. Yeah, you're 37 kilos. I'm sure at some point a bit of wood will come in handy. A bit of wood's always got to be useful on a farm, you know? And because we've got the lumberjack mod installed, that should allow us to remove the stump. Lovely job. But we don't want to be able to pick the tractor up. Right, I will do some landscaping at some point to neaten that up. But yeah. So we had a double pause there for a double dog drink. And I did actually check that we've started recording. I think I've worked out why last time it stopped recording. So I use the keyboard shortcuts Control 1 and Control 2 to start and stop recording. Oh, come on, little tractor, you can do it. You can get up the hill. But cruise control uses the number 2 to go to cruise control 2. And what I've noticed, because it took me a couple of goes to get recording going, and it seems like there's a little bit of lag in OBS noticing that control is not being pressed. And so I pressed Control 1 to start recording. I then pressed 2 to get faster cruise control, and it stopped recording. So now it could be the really cheap ass keyboard that I use when I'm doing this stuff, because I like a quiet keyboard, and one of the best ways to get a nice quiet light keyboard is to buy a really cheap one. So who knows? But anyway, yeah, I wonder if a lower gear would help us, and we're going uphill, so that could be the problem. And we're underpowered for this job, so that is also an problem. And I guess first gear is going to be pretty low, geared for pretty low speed, so yeah, I don't know. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's nicer than driving the frickin' Fendt. I'll tell you that for now. So we are looking to replace the Fendt. There are some options that we could go for, that we can have a look at when we're doing some of these long, slow up rows, I guess. I've got some ideas in mind. Come on, you can do it, buddy. You can do it. Probably doesn't help that we've got bales in the baler, because that's added weight that we're lugging up the hill. We should probably make sure that we unload before we go uphill. I want to make sure that we unload before we go across. Because less mass is always good. Oh, get in a forward gear. Go forwards. Get some momentum. Spent a lot of time last night talking about momentum playing Truck Sim. Maybe this guy can't pull the baler. Maybe we're going to need to use the Fendt. And that, if it came through on the microphone, was my washing machine finishing. Welcome to real life, folks. Yeah, maybe we're going to need to use the Fendt. Darn it. Well, that was a waste of $4 grand, wasn't it, to convert that, but Oh well, we live, we learn. Dude, look how speedy this little thing is. For light carting jobs, this is going to be awesome. Hello, you. Come on, you piece of something. Try and redeem yourself. It's that, or we do a complete rework on the gearbox. You know, we could do a complete rework. Give it one last chance. What do you guys think? Do we throw it in the workshop again? See if it can be saved, or do we just say don't throw? And it's very much inverted commas because it's not going to cost us anything. But you know what I mean. Throw any more bad money after good, and just trade it in and get something else. Now, we can't really afford to spend any more because the money we're sitting on is all we've got unless we can go out and earn a ton of cash. So, now I could spend a bunch of time contracting to earn the cash to go buy something, but it helps if you turn the baler on, doesn't it? We just do another round of fluid changes, and you know, maybe we change some linkages and all that kind of stuff, and see if we can make this thing change gear in a way that is more tolerable. Maybe give it give the engine a more thorough service. Check that it's putting out the power that it should be. Yeah. It just seems to bog down all the time. It's just so annoying. So, while we run up here, just do it from like top level. We've got the Steyr, 65 grand, up to 190 horsepower. The Schulfte, 240 horsepower, but that's quite a lot of cash. That Steyr actually is a nice option, I think. Depending on how it drives. Not had a Steyr on a farm before, I don't think. So, you know, I mean, that's another plus. Using a brand of tractor that I've not driven before. That would be fun. The other option that we've got is we've got the John Deere 4755 that we had on Rottimer. That was a nice bit of kit. So yeah. Got some options. As always, I am curious of a little bit of input from you guys as to what you think would be sensible. So, now, the plan for today's video, looking 10 minutes in, is kind of just to play the game for an amount of time, see how we get on, ramble away for a bit, see how I get on with rambling for a bit, and that'll probably be it. It's Sunday, it's coming up to Sunday lunchtime. Family is still away for the weekend, which is making it slightly easier to get a little bit ahead on making videos. Which is kind of nice. I am incredibly tired, and I'm not saying it to whinge about it. It's just a statement of fact from doing too much exercise over the weekend. I find it quite amusing sometimes that some people, not everyone, some people are something. You must be so healthy with all the exercise that you do. No, the amount of exercise that I do sometimes is not healthy at all. Certain things mean you take things to extremes. Some of you guys will know this. And yeah, I did 7 hours of running training yesterday. And so I am a little bit tired. Just a little bit. I was watching, I say watching, the Grand Tour, the one that's in Mesopotamia, was playing on the TV yesterday evening. Because I can't say I was watching it, because I saw them unload the cars. And then the cars were on rafts. And I have no recollection of the rest of the show. So, yeah. You know, so. And then because I'm incredibly healthy and mentally well balanced, I got up this morning and went out again for another hour and a half. Because it's what you do. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going for kind of the easy option for making a video. And sometimes it works quite well, which is just open the game up, play the game, and yap away for a bit. It's kind of one of my, and a lot of you have been here long enough to know anyway, kind of one of my preferred ways of making videos, because it's just kind of natural, isn't it? You know, no fancy editing, and it's what I do, isn't it? Ramble away, and yeah. So I have watched a bit more Tom Pemberton, not a lot. And I was kind of surprised, actually. He's just brought himself a pressure washer out. My man who doesn't have a pressure washer on here. But and I think it's kind of funny that as fake farmers, a lot of people that play this are quite obsessed with washing their tractors. And you know, I mean, I guess on a farm, you know, probably they wash their tractors down without a pressure washer. I haven't watched him in ages actually. I probably should start again. It's weird how sidetrack coming up. How the way YouTube recommends stuff really biases your viewing. So I used to watch the Saskia Dutch Kid quite a lot, and then I stopped for a little bit, and then YouTube hasn't recommended it for ages, and so I haven't watched it in ages. But you know, they have, I think anyway, you know, they had like 2 skid steer loaders. They had the dirty skid steer loader and the clean skid steer loader. So one was for like mixing feed and one was for like mucking out. I think anyway, they certainly had the mucking out skid steer loader, and that thing was just caked. And they just didn't wash it very often, because as soon as they washed it, it got disgusting. I remember he did a video, basically a whole video where he washed that skid steer loader, and then greased it all up and stuff. And then the first time using it, it was disgusting again. And you know, it's like kind of funny how. And I'm not one for bothering that often to wash kit in the game, because this is my brain with how it works. It doesn't serve a function. You know, if the tractor's dirty, it still works the same. Therefore, why do I need to wash it? Most of the time anyway. Sometimes I have, but a lot of the time don't bother. But I know some people are obsessed with it, and then it's kind of interesting seeing someone like Tom, who's just like, oh yeah, we've just brought our first pressure washer. But I guess, you know, when they want to wash down a tractor, they'll just get like the parlor hose or something and use that, because it doesn't have to be showroom shiny. It just has to get off enough that you can get to do the jobs you need to do. Okay, we're back again. So I had to let one of the pups out in the garden. But we are back and we are rolling again. Yeah, I think remember what I was talking about. This may not surprise you, much like in the video game, in the real life, I don't bother washing my actual car that much. Usually after the winter I will wash it to deal with the fact that the roads have been salted and that kind of thing. But because most of the driving that I do is like motorway driving and stuff, you know, there's very little point, because it very quickly gets dirty again. So yeah, I don't see the point personally. If you're going somewhere, I guess, where it's important, maybe, but very, very few occasions where I will bother. So. Alright, we're doing well, we're doing good. I'm going to slow the time down a little bit so it doesn't end up getting dark on us getting this done. And then we need to get the field sorted. We're going to need to deal with these tram lines. So good point from commenting again. The reason that we've got tram lines still in the oilseed radish, and why we need to do this. So the tram lines go in as seed bed, I think. So you need to at least, I think, deep cultivate to break that up. Otherwise, when you reseed, they stay. And that's the so the issue that happened when precision farming released and you couldn't necessarily complete the cultivating contracts was if you got a shallow cultivator, you couldn't cultivate the tram lines, which meant you couldn't complete enough of the field potentially. So you need a deep cultivator to break up the tram lines, at least a deep cultivator. And I'm guessing direct drilling doesn't count as deep cultivation either. So I need to check that the disc that we've got counts as deep cultivation. If not, we need to get something that is, so that we can break up those tram lines, because otherwise we're going to get tram lines in our grass field, and you know my view on that from previous. But yeah, that's why we've got tram lines in the OSR up there. So, which means we're going to get such a tiny subsidy off that field. It's laughable. I think we're probably going to get maybe 200 quid. I think it's £200 per hectare or per acre or something. And that's such a small field. We're going to get a laughably small amount, but yeah, we need to do some deep cultivation across the farm to deal with that, or just plough everything. We break up the tram lines. Yeah. Well, look at that. Funny, you know, the things are in the brain, but you forget them. You forget them. And particularly lately, the brain is a very jumbled, cluttered mess. But hey, it is what it is. We're doing well. We're doing good. We are getting through stuff. We might even get round to starting to try and stack bales. I'm not looking forward to stacking bales with that new front loader. Actually, the little Deutz might be good for stacking bales on the trailer. Still, it might have a use still for that. Just where that front loader doesn't self-level. Like most do in the game. That's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. So we might break out the little Deutz for doing the bale stacking. I think it was okay with 2 straw bales. We probably don't want to go more than 2 high. So, you know. I think that'll be okay. Right, we're going to do a slightly weird route because we're going to take this one and then we'll loop and get the one we missed, and then we'll loop and get the next one. I don't know if that's weird at all, but that's how it's going to work in my head. Yeah. Oh. So the local farming around here has been battered, and not by the weather. We've had a massive spate of arson. So quite a few fields locally have been harvested, but quite a few fields around here locally have been set on fire. They've actually caught a couple of people responsible for doing it. Yeah, when I went out this morning for the run that I was talking about, one of the fields closest to the house is probably at least 75% now just charred mess. So sad. You know, that crop was pretty much ready to harvest, I think, and it's been so dry lately. And yeah, some retread went out and set fire to it. It's really sad. And it must be so frustrating as a farmer that you spend all that time and money nurturing the crop and getting it ready to harvest, and just at the point where you're poised, waiting for it to get to that final bit of being ready to harvest, and some idiot sets fire to it. And then, so locally, a few bits of farmland are being sold off for housing, which is not great, I'll admit. But you then get the equally intelligent people on well-known social media sites. Oh yeah, I bet that was intentional because they want to build houses on it. It's like, well, yes, of course. In days leading up to combining the crop, they've intentionally burnt it because that helps with the wanting to build houses on it in X months' time, rather than combining it. You an idiot. Yes, that's very sensible, isn't it? Yes, they've intentionally set fire to a perfectly good crop of wheat or whatever it was because they want to build houses on it rather than combining it next week. IQ of the people where I live is particularly low, I fear. But anyway, and yet, so there was something quite cool that I've seen. The local farmer. I think the local farmer clearly watches some of my YouTube content because they've got a field of potatoes with the headland planted with grain. So the grain is pretty much ready to combine. So you've got the nice golden headland, and then you've got a potato crop. Now, whether they've done it for the reasons that I was told about doing it, which is, you get your big headland for running the harvester, and you get your crop you can harvest early, or whether they've done it because they didn't want to plant the whole field with potatoes because it's a big old field. I don't know. It's not a field that they have traditionally planted with potatoes, but they do traditionally plant some big fields with potatoes. They are the fields that they normally plant with potatoes are normally nearer irrigation sources. So the farm, some of the fields on the farm are near a local river that's used for irrigating farm, and this field is a fair way from that, and only really has access to a fairly small ditch system. So maybe that's why, in that they feared they would struggle to irrigate the whole field to grow potatoes. I don't know, but it was kind of cool, because some of the other fields, when they have potatoes in them, they just leave the headland bare. Yeah. Kind of spiked the farm sim nerd in me a little bit. The other stuff kind of sparked the, wow, how are some of you so dumb on the internet, and just being frustrated and annoyed for the farmers. You know, that must be so devastating to see your years worth of work just going up in flames. And it's happened for the last 2 years. I don't know if I think for the last 2 years, one particular field that has been hit. And yeah, maybe you can understand they're on the edge of urban areas, and you know, a bit like Joe Seals, I guess, and maybe you can understand why. These sort of semi-urban farming, that they're selling the land off, because the more remote stuff probably doesn't get hit that way, because the lazy buggers can't be bothered to walk out somewhere like that and do it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not just because they're in. I mean, they've not even got planning permission granted yet, so it's, yeah. Dumb people just frustrate me so much. Decent crop of straw off of this field, which is nice because we need more straw. We could even start to mix a little bit in with the feed, which would be good. And relax. Yeah, my YouTube algorithm's got a little bit messed up lately. I find it kind of interesting. Ow. Two things. There's always two things, isn't there? How quickly, if you start watching something different, YouTube will start massively changing what it recommends to you. I guess it's just an experiment to see if you want to watch more of that stuff. And so I've been trying to drop a little bit of weight in anticipation of the race that I'm training for, because carrying a few less kilograms around for 100 miles is obviously beneficial. And I randomly started clicking on a few videos, and so now my non-subscription recommendations are all that kind of thing. And I've been watching a lot of like long-term food challenge videos, and so I've got a lot of those as well. Or food and exercise challenge videos. And that's quite interesting. And then kind of linked to that, and this has been a pet peeve for a while, you'll recognize this one, that whole spate of people commenting for the algorithm. Now, commenting for the algorithm does sort of work, because more comments is more gooder. But actually what it does is tell the YouTube algorithm that you like it. And therefore YouTube will recommend more of that type of content to you. Now, more comments on a video is great because it tells YouTube that to recommend that type of that video to people who like similar content. So it does sort of work, but equally it doesn't, because the algorithm is very individually tailored generally. It is somewhat complicated. Because you get like with bigger creators, you get the kind of videos that go viral and all that kind of thing, and that is the algorithm making it viral. And as you get more success, you get that kind of thing. But a lot of the time, the algorithm is working for the viewer, not the creator. And so the videos that you watch and comment on, that tells YouTube that you like those kind of videos, and therefore it gives you more of that kind of video. Rather than, and there is an effect of, like if one of my videos suddenly got probably like 1 million comments, then it's telling YouTube that lots of people liked it, and everyone, loads of people watched it. It tells YouTube that lots of people like this, and it should recommend it to more people. But then people actually need to watch it and watch an amount of it, because YouTube's changed how it does things, and success of a video is based on watch time, not just click rate. Because so that gets people away from making clickbaity thumbnails. So YouTube measures success by how much of a video people watch. So you need people to actually engage with and enjoy your video. Someone forgot to do a thumbnail. Oops. Yeah, so it's and it's funny, I'm rabbiting away like I'm some sort of expert in YouTube with my tiny channel that gets, videos that do well get like 1,000 views, but I watch a lot of YouTube, and you pick up a lot of this stuff watching channels like Linus Tech Tips, who does know about YouTube. Yeah. Let's see if we can pick up 2 bales with this. So this one's not doing it either. So it is not just the other one that's not self-leveling. So maybe that's something in my settings now. Well, that used to be a thing. Well, that used to be a thing. Anywho. Nice to get the little doits out. Or dog moving around. Just grab the old thumbnail, which you will have seen anyway, so you know what the thumbnail looks like. You clicked on the video. That's how all of this stuff works. Yeah, we're not going to get all of these bales loaded up in the video because I am getting to the end of that recording window that I talked about. So we'll do a few and then I will do the rest probably between videos or in the next video. Who knows which it will be. Well, if you're watching the videos later on, you'll be able to just watch straight away and find out. This is quite a nice little tractor for doing this kind of thing. Now, I know it's kind of massively undersized, probably, for loading straw bales like this. What does a bale like that weigh? 400 kilos. The tractor weighs nearly 4 tons. The tractor weighs, this little tractor weighs more than the MB track. Interesting. If the weight's wrong on that MB track. I know what an MB track should weigh. This is quite a nice little tractor for doing this job anyway. You know, we're out in the fresh air in November in a vest, because that's what you should be wearing in November. Good. I should have maybe made smaller bales if we are thinking about putting them in the feed mixer, but you know, it'll be alright. Yeah, it'll be alright. No idea where we're going to put all these, but that's a problem for future me to worry about. Okay, come at that from the other side then. I think we'll stick these on, and then I need to go grab some food. Getting rather hungry. You don't want to hear my stomach rumble. Well, no, you really don't. On. And do. Perfect. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more to stack. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Go steady. Job. Perfect. So yeah, I think we'll call it a day there, folks. Hope you have enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, click the like button. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. And wondered why that felt uncomfortable. I will see you all next time.